Simple possession of pot became legal in Canada last October. People are allowed to have up to 30 grams of marijuana for personal use since the law changed. A couple of dozen pot shops have opened in Calgary, but there are still many more waiting to open. Now, Danielle Smith from 770 CHQR joins us this morning to continue the conversation on this story. And Danielle, what's the holdup in?
Well, I guess the worst job there must be in the city right now, aside from being the mayor right now, where we're going through a business tax revolt. But the second worst job has got to be Matt Zablonski, who is the person in charge of laying out the rules and getting all of the pot shops up and running. And we started off so well in Alberta. The number that opened up initially were doing so well, and then everything just stopped. They couldn't get product, and everyone's pointing fingers at everybody else to find out what was going on. Well, we're about to see another slew of them open up. So I'm going to talk with Matt Zablonski today to find out what has been the holdup, whether it's been a problem with a federal regulatory environment and getting product approved. There's this theory that everyone was holding off waiting for Ontario to come into the market, and so they were stockpiling supplies to be able to provide them. There's also it seems like the companies that really got the jump were the ones who were already ahead in other jurisdictions and were able to have a franchise that opened up here. I think New Leaf is one of the ones that has 9 stores. So I want to understand the dynamic of what's going on. I just don't know how some of these business owners, given the approval on their license to operate from the province 8 months ago, have been able to just sit and stay in limbo as they've been waiting to open up. So we're going to see whether or not this marks the beginning of us kicking into high gear, or whether it's just another bump along the road, and we're going to see this over the next few years as it finally rolls out and supply catches up with demand.
I know, and you touched on it there, Danielle. This must come as a major cost to those hoping to get their businesses open, especially when we've been talking about diversifying the economy and the recession and all of that. How are these business owners being hit? Exactly.
Well, this is I'm curious to know how their property taxes are being hit. If you're getting a huge property tax bill when you don't have any revenues, that's going to be a little bit tricky for you. But think about it that way. I mean, the number of businesses starting up in Calgary would have added to the total mix in bringing down the property tax bill for everyone. So it's in everyone's interest to get these facilities up and running. I fear that there was another story today of an investment banker saying Canada was poised to be a global leader on the export market on cannabis. And because of dilly-dallying around, because of confusing policies, because of this supply problem, we're actually now falling behind. Canopy Growth seems to be the only one who's really poised to take advantage of the international market. And that's a shame, because you can imagine that some good, solid chains here might also ultimately be able to look at export opportunity, but they got to get up and running and establish themselves first. And so we'll see whether or not we're going to be able to make some major headway on that with Matt today.
All right. Thanks, Danielle. An interesting conversation ahead.